Hello everyone, this is Ahmed Gamal and I'm here to present my Unity extension to you, and I would really like to hear your feedback because it will help you with my studies and it will help me with deciding the future of the project. Okay, so I'll just jump into Unity to show what I'm talking about. It's a tool for visual effects. Um, Now, the idea is that most of the visual effects experts, when they think about a visual effect, they're gonna think about it in bits and pieces, and in like small effects that can be combined together to make the full visual effect. So this is basically what I'm trying to do here. Is that I'm trying to have an extension to combine different small effects, and then these small effects can be customized to make something bigger. So here I'm going to create an empty game object, and then I'm going to add my composite script. Then from there I can add sub effects. So as you can see, there is a list of the sub effects, and these are the small pieces that I was talking about. So the energy field, for example, I'm going to add just this energy field, and then you have this kind of energy field. Now you will not be able to see it in the beginning, but because there is a timeline, and then this timeline basically shows like the sequence of these sub effects or small effects. It lasts for a while, so I'm just gonna make it shorter. But yeah, there is always a transition in and transition out, or I can choose to make it continuous, so it's gonna be there all the time. I can, of course, change its color. I can change, make the effect less bright, like decrease the brightness a bit. I can make it increase the intensity because it's an HDR color, so I can do that as well, but I will not for now. But basically, this is something that we can have here. I can delete this one. I don't want it. I actually going to add another sub effect. I'm going to add flames. So this is an easy way to start thinking about the components. So here, for example, this is going to be just very basic, simple flame based on the particle systems in Unity. But then I can add another layer of flame, and then let's say I'm going to name this one or core flame. So this is going to be like the core of the flame, and then I can choose, because this is a particle system, so it has an extra option here, which is ordinate layer. So I can choose to make this pop up more closer toward me, toward the camera. So I will make this one a bit more red. Okay, and then I'll make this one. I will increase the intensity of it to make it for the HDR, and then I'm gonna make it more red as well, and then it okay, no, this one is too much red. I'm gonna make it back to orange, and then you could have this kind of two varied colors, and with the core always showing on top, so it gives this feel of contrast happening here. And then let's say that I can add, for example, subtractive flames here. Subtractive flames add this black color in the background where it decreases some of the brightness, which add a nicer effect or a stronger effect. But this is not the only thing that you can do here. You can also edit these effects. So I'm going to pause, and then if I controlled, if I move this is going to move the whole effect. It will need to resimulate, so there. Okay. But then if I want to edit one of them, so I can choose, let's say, the core flames. I'm going to choose either I transform the core flame itself, but I don't want to do that now, or I can change the shape of the effect. So to control the shape of the effect, I'm gonna go back, edit. Okay. To control the shape of the effect, I made this custom handles. The custom handles are going to change based on the effect that you're editing. So if it's a particle system, it's going to have this shape. This one is going to control the size of the particles themselves, I'm gonna make the size bigger, actually smaller, and then the area where it emits from also smaller. So I want this core to be in the middle here, and I don't want it to live for long, so it's just going to be here. So now I close edit mode, and then when I play, you will see that the core is just there. If I increased this one more, and then the core is going to be more obvious here. It's subtle, but it adds a bit of depth. And for example, let's say that I want to add another thing. Let's add embers. So I can add embers here, and then it's gonna also be added from the center of the effect. So it's it adds this kind of detail to it, and I can add smoke if I want to. Smoke, and then this smoke right now it's a gray, but I can change its color to be anything that really fits my need. Um, so the smoke is there. Okay. So this is just like a basic flame effect. Now let's do something else to see how. These are were all based on particle effects. So let's do something else with the force field, for example, where it doesn't depend as much on the on particle systems, but on other techniques. So that's the good thing about the extension, is that it combines different techniques in the same framework. So let's add here a screen space decal, which is quite good for the performance, better than projectors, or basically it has a constant cost in terms of performance. So as you can see here, this is a decal. If I moved it around, it moves to there. If I press in the edit mode, again, you will see that this is a different handle for it that shows basically the control for the decal itself. So I can just like rotate it or do whatever I want to have this decal print in the object. So I can also change the color, and I'm going to go for something blue, or actually let's go for something orange, and again I'm going to increase the intensity a bit to have this HDR to look as if it's glowing in the on the ground. Again, this is right now. You can see that it stays the same. There is nothing happens here. There is no transition. The reason why, because I have this curve that controls the progress for this one, and it's always one. So right now I'm going to make it like edit the curve, make this one flat, make this one flat, and move these 2 points down. Okay, so now you will be able to see the effect growing on the surface. So I can also control the lifetime and how it progresses here, or the duration here. And then for now I'm gonna make it continuous because I want to remove the capabilities of it. And then I'm gonna add another sub effect. I'm going to add a field, energy field, add. I'm gonna make it continuous so we can see it all the time. Okay. Right now it's too powerful, so let's decrease the intensity a bit, and then we change it again to something like a bit orange or pink, and then we can edit it to make it larger. Okay, so I can edit. Now this technique is based on the mesh, and it has intersection shader, so it gives this nice highlight whenever it intersects. with something. And then we can add another sub effect. Let's add sparkles. Okay, and then when I play this one now, it's not continuous, so let's make it continuous. Okay, now it's a bit too large. I wanted to stay inside this field, so let's do that. So shape, I'm going to decrease the area, and I'm going to make it smaller. Okay, let's see how it looks like now. Yep, I think I still need to decrease the area a bit. So okay, so it stays inside. This is kind of the look that I wanted. Actually, let's move it down. I want it to be centered around this crack here. Okay, and yes, okay, so that's what I want it to look like. And let's say I'm gonna add another crack. So screen space decal and make it continuous. And now this one is black. Okay, so I'm actually going to oops, not this one. Okay, Control D works with everything, by the way. But then I'm gonna need to say edit here, and I'm going to increase its size a bit. Okay. Okay. So now you can see this added a bit more depth to it, and then I can change the order of everything happening, and let's make the energy field a bit brighter. Okay, and let's say I can add glow as well, so glowing light, and then now it's the colors is too white, so let's go to glowing light, and then we change it to be something orange. So now the effect becomes nicer and nicer. And basically, like right now, I'm not the best visual effects artist, but it shows a concept that you can add in more and more stuff doing that. And it becomes as powerful as the sub effects. So the more sub effects that we add, the more possibilities that you could have. And to just show you some examples, so I showed you the idea, but just show you some examples, I will show you something like this. So this one has like a, not this one, oh, it's this here, okay. So if I played this one, this was the flame that we had before, but I added a bit of glow to it. I changed the colors to blue, and used another one to have a bit of green, and then the different layers made this look like that. Okay, and then this is a nice one where I added two screen space decals here, like we did with the energy field there, and a lightening line. So this is based on the line, and if I try to edit this one, it basically gives me this nice interface, or these nice elements where I can control where it can go, or I can just choose the positions, and then I can control specific positions where it can go to. So I can even do something like a zigzag with this effect. And then I combined it with two particle systems that also come from the sub effects. And then I have also haze and ambers. Again, I use them, the same ambers that I used with the fire. So now when I play the effect, it's going to look something like this, which is, well, I think it's quite cool. Yeah. Okay. So that's one composition as well. So let's check this one. I don't remember what was it. So let's see. Where is it? Yep. Yep. It was this one. Okay. So this one, flames again, but I was experimenting a lot with flame just because of the additives and different layers. So this is me showing a different, not different. It's still blue flame, but yeah, it has a 3 different grades with glowing light, and it gives it an overall feeling to it. So you can see that lighting affecting the surroundings and so on. Now it's based on the Unity particle system, so it's still working using the same stuff. The whole thing is about editing and composing things together. So that's what the extension do. So let's, but then also, this is not the only thing. The extension combines different techniques. So for example, this it makes use of shader, a custom shader here for particles that that have the polar distortion effect. I get that from, I get the idea from a talk in GDC about the Infamous Sun, special effects in Famous Sun. So try to implement it here. So basically the extension is extendable, and I can add more and more to it, and the more techniques I add, the more it can do. So it's can be growing basically. So you can see this is another effect. And then, oh, that's too far. By the way, the environment is from that store. I will reference it in the link. That's not mine. So stop. Yep, here. Okay. So now this effect actually shows a bit of sequencing and how the sequence works. So let's make it a bit far so we can see what's happening. So this is the sequence, and kind of like a charging effect. So I added some the sub effect of charge, and then haze, glowing light, embers, and you can see the line again. So shockwave and the smoke burst. Let's do it again. Let's see, check it again. Okay, so this shows how we can use the timeline. The timeline we can zoom into see more details. So this shows how the timeline can be used. Now this is again for it's a work in progress. So it's not complete yet, but again the future of it, or how I think of it, is that it's gonna grow by time. So the point now is to see whether this is actually helpful. It could be helpful for some people to create visual effects, to prototype visual effects, or to learn about visual effects, or not. So please, if you would help me a lot if you can answer the questions in the link below in the form. That's for my studies. So that would be really great. Okay, thank you.